Here we are. It's Monday, 15/24, 24 seconds, the year 2023, third month, March 27th day. And I was just in the Wayne Morris U.S. District Court here in Eugene, Oregon. That would be that court building right there. And I went to spoke with the marshals and let them know that I'm here to inspect the lien record in the courts, in the clerk's office. So I went in and looked at the record and brought it up on the computer. And just as I got to the security agreement, the main security agreement that I filed in there, the clerk said, we can only give print copies for all those documents on the records. So, and she said that just as I got to the security agreement. And I had looked at many documents already that I filed in there. But it wasn't until I got to that particular document that the voice spoke up. And so after everything was finished, and I picked up some tools from the marshal and handed him back the card or the tag. Or a tag. And he said to walk around through there, and he'd hand me back the tools as I walked around. So I walked around, got the tools back, went outside and picked up the item that I set outside the door under the marshal's watch. and I walked down the pathway. It's a sloping pathway. I looked down, and there's a lady at the end down at the corner in the transparent glass. She had a smile on her face, waving at me. So I kind of waved back, kind of had a half smile. And then over here, we're having construction over here, so just across from the courthouse, across from Whole Food Markets over there, where I like to get wonderful food. But inside the as I was looking at the records, the original file that I opened was number 16:6-MC-599, and they had added a couple zeros before the 599, which I haven't seen before. So that was new. However, when I just entered the 599 in there, everything came up. So, but I looked at the docket order, and the docket order had a judge's order according to that original file record that was opened up. So, and the order said, I put the file in there, which is the original security agreement, and there was a treasury bond order in there too. So, well, I might as well walk over here. It's getting a little bit busy. So I put I was reading the order, but first of all, I put the paperwork in there on 11/29/2016, and that was when the sheriff's foreclosure was in there. So, and here we got the crane up here. Moving a couple stacks of stacked wood. So the original, when I filed everything, was 11/29, November the 29th, 2016, and that was just as that was just before the sheriff's foreclosure, property tax foreclosure. And anyway, the docket order on it, there was an order on there put in there years later, and it said December 12th, I think it was, something like that, the year 2020. And it said, order denied, 4 years later. So that was when Trump was president, from 16 to 20. So anyway, and I had already amended the security agreement, or the lien. The peace warrant. I had already amended it. And something told me to file it in the court, but I didn't. Irregardless. But it said denied at best because it was frivolous. He said the bond. He mentioned the bond. That was the reason why he denied everything. He said, at best, order, or this case is denied because it was opened against Lien County. This case was denied at best because it's frivolous, and at worst fraudulent. But that was something new that I haven't seen before. But that was 4 years later, December. So that was just before the change of hands on the presidency, something like that. I think January the 6th is when things turned. But anyway, so, and when I read that, I got this feeling, or thoughts and signals came to the body to see if it made me feel weak and stuff like that, like the security agreement's no good, and and I said, well, I felt this stuff before. This is all coming from extraterrestrial, Vatican government, CIA, and all that. And then I gathered the stuff together, and I said, no, this is. I started typing the information in the phone here, and I put fake order. Put a note, fake order. But Anyway, I guess the whole point of the whole thing is after everything was said and done, you know, and as I was walking out and the lady at the corner of the building was smiling and all that stuff, these are all signs, whether natural or artificial. But, you know, and these were different marshals. A whole set of different marshals are in there now, you know, some years later. And when I left and I got the tools from the other marshal, I said, standing. I said, standing. And of course, that was kind of directed at, you know, from when I first went in the building. I said, I'm here to inspect the lien record. And then as I left, I said, standing. In other words, it's not frivolous. It's not fraudulent. You know. But it seems like the frivolous and the fraudulent was connected to the words that were written in the order, or the docket order. And it said, because of the bond order, the Treasury bond order that was sent in to, you know, set off claims or bills or whatever the heck, taxes, liens, levies, and stuff like that, you know, whatever the wording was. And then the clerk told me I could get copies of this stuff and print it off that computer for 10 cents a copy. But it has to be with check or a credit card, not a debit card, a credit card. But anyway, so I got the feeling, I got this, you know, this wonderful thing that came over me, you know, as the lady was, you know, smiling, and I looked over across the street. I guess the construction guys were just getting off lunch, and there was a herd of them, you know. It was like that was a public witness from the Freemasons and stuff like that. Like, you know, what's Russell doing in the courthouse? He sure is in there a long time. Was he talking to private meetings with judges and stuff like that? And all these thoughts are coming over the brain, like, you know, I must be important. But it's kind of, it's just, you know, curious, you know, to witness all this stuff and, you know, to see what all the what ifs and could be's, because everything's just a what if and could be. So anyway, so here's this is top of the line courthouse in its day for the time. So yeah. That's the back of the courthouse. So, you know, I dropped a rubber band. I got rubber bands to hold this thing onto the Faraday cage. The aluminum Faraday cage. Anyway, so here I am. I just got laid off from work. I just went to Natron Wood Products and met with the guys over there with this non-disclosure contract thing here. Here I am a couple hours later at the federal U.S. District Court, you know, and everything just happened to be, I have to go down here to the state employment office and da-da-da, and so I went in and got something to eat at the Whole Foods store, and I said, well, I might as well go visit the courthouse and look at the records and see what's going on with that. But anyway, after all said and done, just because the judge gave a fake order and all this other stuff, and you know, cases are closed or determined closed or whatever stuff like that, that's still private federal military judge record that I hold right there. And all those standings in there are still standing. In fact, in the legal world, closed cases and closed accounts are everything has been moved to the private side, which means everything's acknowledged. So that was, you know, here I am walking out of the federal courthouse, you know, and this overwhelming feeling of, I am still exactly who I say I am. And it doesn't matter what anyone else can say, because they get to say whatever they want too. But the fact is I didn't throw no fits, and I didn't cave in to what they had to say. So that's the difference. No matter what kind of feelings are sent, and signals and electronic devices are sent into the brain to have me feel whatever it is that the child wants me to feel, but the mother is still the mother. I am still the mother helping the child to grow. That doesn't want to yet acknowledge the mother, but is learning to. So anyway, so that's pretty much that. Here I am going to go back over to Whole Foods, get in the car, and go back home. I have a meeting tomorrow at 2:15 at the Oregon State Employment Office, the iMatch Skills thing. Comes the crane again over here on the top. See it up there moving. It's coming right above the head now. Mill Street. This is Mill Street here. We got 10 seconds to get across this other end of the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Man, it looks like we just got across just in the nick. So here we are on the corner now. I didn't look for the rubber band. Somewhere I dropped a rubber band on the ground as I went across the street over here. Somewhere, I'm thinking. But it's just a rubber band. There might be an extra one in the car. We got a Jesuit colored car right here, a BMW from California. It's got the Jesuit colors on it. So, you know, like that blood purple color. kind of right there, but so anyway, it's kind of nice looking. Quite an attractive color. It's from California too. It says California plates on it. So who knows if the top elite, you know, put that car there, you know, could be. What if? It's almost like a dark black. It's really a nice looking car, man. I gotta get this one on the, look at that. That's a nice looking vehicle right there. You know, they say this is public domain, cameras and whatnot, but you know, a little give and take here and there. And then we got the full tilt truck over here. I don't see a rubber band over here, so when I went in to visit the marshals, you know, of course I had to go through the magnetic detector and I had to remove all the metal and stuff out. So all the stuff I had, keys in the pocket, and metal parts in the shoes, the belts, the locks, the watch, the whole 9 yards. So. So, you know, while I was in the clerk's office, you know, those marshals have cameras in there and microphones, and they can hear everything going on in there. So anyway, while I was in there, I was hesitant to put this on the record, but you know, hey, the position that I hold and the way I conduct myself, you know, gives precedence. So I was in there and I was getting pictures of all the documents that I had on the record on that computer screen. And, you know, and just as I got to the security agreement, like I was saying, that's when the clerk, she said, "Oh, can't have pictures here." I need to put this. I'll just move to the other side. That's when the clerk said we can't have pictures on that. Just as I got to the security agreement, and I had looked at a lot of papers that I filed in there. One of the biggest batches was 42 pages. Another one was 12 pages. Another one was 5 pages. And But yeah, just when she got to that, that's when she said, can't have pictures of that, you know, because the thought that was going through the brain was, you know, this would be wonderful to have this picture, this security agreement that had the federal courthouses outlining printed numbers and all that stuff written on the front of the page, at the top of the page and at the bottom of the page. So, and all kinds of distractions going on right now with horns and stuff like that. Looking to have this be a New York scene. I guess there's someone behind me now honking on the horn, distracting me from saying what I want to say right now. You know, all the robot stuff. Trying to get me all mad and stuff like that, and it ain't gonna happen. But anyway, just as I got to the security agreement, I was thinking, you know, the thought was going through the head, this would be great to have a picture of this, because it had stars and stuff all over it. from the publishing company where I published it in the public on a website. You know, it had certification. I had it certified and stuff like that. It said certified on it and stuff like that. But anyway, just as she said, you can't have pictures. Right when I got to the security agreement, the thought also entered in the head. You know, just before she said that, when I got to it, this would be nice to have a picture of this to show to the attorney over at Lien or over at Natron Wood Products for this settlement and agreement thing, to let him know, you know, that that if I sign anything with this, it's going to be an acknowledgement that lien position still holds. Because in here there's verbiage on, you know, releasing claims, any claims against the company or against the owner and stuff like that. Well, that security agreement is a claim against everything in the corporation. So, you know, so I would want to rearrange everything to say, you know, well, that claim is still valid. The main original claim is still valid. But I would add something into the contract to where, you know, something, you know, I could say, you know, well, we could negotiate something that where his particular division or anyway, his part in the corporation, I could give protection to him, you know, just to get the $2,500 consideration, you know, extra $2,500 temporal night order money. So, but anyway, the point is, and I still got a bunch of pictures on this camera, and I bring all this up too because the marshals are watching and listening in on everything going on. And when I walked out that door, they did not ask. They did not even bring up that I had pictures. Did not on this phone, because I brought the phone in there. And he asked me, he says, "What's this?" And I said, "Oh, this is just a communication thing." And he said, "Oh, this is just a box holding the communication thing." I said, "Yeah." So anyway, so the marshals witnessed me giving pictures, getting pictures, and they didn't say a thing. Okay, now, yeah, not a thing. Not a thing. They didn't ask to go through the camera. They didn't ask to be erased. Nothing. Didn't even bring it up. So, anyway, but I got copies of everything that I put into that court. I got copies anyway. If I really wanted to show the guy at the attorney at whatchamacallit, Natron Wood Products, you know, that there is actually paperwork on the position that I'm explaining to him. So but anyway, yeah. Anyway, so here we are at the local market. So thinking of going inside and seeing what happens. And I'm thinking, as a what if and could be, I'm thinking that might be the reason why I've been laid off, you know, and not put in any, not transferred to another part in the, you know, on the grounds of the company, you know, to a different area, which is just a walk away. There's nothing there where you got to fucking really travel far to get to the dryer, or to the spreaders, or to the press, or to the painting part, to the saws, or whatever. But you know, it could be that, you know, I've said enough over there to whoever, you know, the position that I hold in this universe, you know, that Lien position, peace warrant. So, you know, and it was just shortly after I actually had a conversation with the daytime supervisor, letting them know, you know, that peace warrant position that I hold, and I brought up the subject only because they brought up the subject as far as what's this computer hack thing going on at the poucher. And so I just proceeded to, I saw that as a doorway to just say everything that you know, what's going on, what I see going on. You know, why are these numbers being hacked on the computer consistently all the time? Well, it could be people in high levels, extraterrestrials, governments, and militaries hacking those things. And so, and then the supervisor asked me, what would be the reason? What would be the opportunity? He brought that up. He said, what would be their opportunity to want to hack that thing like that, and to get me to feel doubtful of the Lien position that I hold. And at that, then shortly after that, now I'm laid off. That I have officially said something to a supervisor in standing position, a standing supervisor. You know, he's from the Department of Corrections too, former Department of Corrections in law enforcement. That's what he told me. He says, I've been in law enforcement, and he's been supervisor there, supervisory position in Department of Corrections law. He calls it law enforcement, but I told him I call it legal. But anyway, So who knows? Everything's just a what if and could be, but I just like bringing evidence of what if and could be. Everything's just evidence. So anyway. Yeah, very, very curious to me as to just when I got to that security agreement. All of a sudden, that's when the clerk finally said to me, you know, you can't be taking pictures, you know. So And of course, to me, that she was robot controlled to say that. That's coming from top Vatican, extraterrestrial Vatican military government speaking through her, because they know how to press a button to electronically demon possess someone, or electronically possess someone, to speak through them, to override their voice without them even knowing that's going on. So anyway, just like all these things that I'm saying right now, at this point, right, now, it could all be controlled. Yeah, robot control, MK Ultra, mind control, body action control, voice control, everything. It's all what if it could be to me. And and I don't rule it out. I don't think it is crazy or outlandish, or to go, to mock it or whatever. But anyway, so I'm getting to the front door here. So yeah, everything going down to the security agreement. Anyway, that's that. So inspect the lien record and standing. Those would be the conclusions. So anyway, talk at you later.